He works out of his garage near the Mississippi River, and he's just like your neighbor.
Hey, howdy!
If your neighbor builds dirt yachts, robo-mowers, and one-of-a-kind hydrofoils. That's pretty cool.
I challenged Gary Sloat to use stuff anybody's got in his garage to turn 2 lawnmower engines into 2 hovercraft in just 2 days.
We're in Davenport, Iowa, right next to the mighty Mississippi, where this mad scientist is about to unveil possibly the world's first mateable, inflatable hovercraft. Without us carrying it. Are they gonna work? This is not looking safe. I have no idea. I'm John Bowler. I build stuff. That's the dumbest thing I built all week. I work alongside garage inventors. We're gonna have fun here. Like your wacky neighbor who can make anything out of nothing. I think he's completely out of his mind. Together, we take 2 days to twist their inventions into things that have never been done before. This is really starting to get weird. If anybody can do it, these guys can. Cross your fingers and move away from your TV set. What's in your neighbor's garage? I'm in Davenport, Iowa, on the mighty Mississippi. I've heard about a mad scientist here who wanders into his garage, takes a pile of junk, and comes out with things that go. They go through the dirt, they go across the grass, they go through the water. I wonder if Gary Sloat can make something that'll go through all 3.
Thank you, hello.
You must be Gary.
I am.
I'm John.
John, pleasure to meet you.
This is quite a contraption here.
It's a hydrofoil.
A hydrofoil. It looks like a plywood box with a couple of bananas under it.
Not a bad descriptor, really.
So where do 2 people go in a 1-seater?
If you'd like to drive, I'll take the mate position. We're ready.
Okay.
Okay, just like a motorcycle grip, you twist it towards you. Basically, it's got 4 little wings under the water, which it rides up on when it gets up on speed.
This thing cruises right along, doesn't it?
Kind of got in my head that hydrofoil would be a fun project, and when I got old enough to afford the toys and stuff, I decided to build one. This is probably a composite of several different designs using easy-to-get materials.
So you have styrofoam below, and it's sealed up with epoxy, and this is plywood, and your skis are made of pine, and they're hooked on with door hinges, so you pull the hinge pin, and your ski comes off. I mean, these work on the same principle as an airplane wing, right?
Correct. You've got a curved surface on the top that causes water pressure above to get lighter, and the force of the water then pushes the wing up.
Whoa! Hey! This is a very, very cool toy. Do you have other toys?
I've got a little bit of a inventory of toys back in the garage.
In 2 days, I have all of Gary's friends and family coming out to see what we build. So I want to check out what he's already made.
I've got an amphibious dune buggy that I'm in the midst of creating.
This is going to be a car and a boat at the same time.
Yep, going to drive it straight into the water.
What's that thing?
That is a dirt boat.
A dirt boat.
Basically, everything with the wheels and the metal I built. That's an old kitchen chair. I go scooting across parking lots at about 35 miles an hour in this thing. I get it up on 2 wheels. It's a blast. Loses a little bit without the wind, but with the wind, you can actually get going.
A little bit of wind and this would be dangerous. What else do you have?
So I made a 4-wheel drive remote control lawnmower. Call it the Goat. It's right over here.
Sloat's Goat. I like it.
Mow my lawn. I bought a rechargeable electric lawnmower as a basis. All I really needed to do was make a remote control vehicle out of it. The motors off of this are off of the little kids' electric ride-on toys, and I've got one on each corner, so I've got 4-wheel drive, and it works like a tank with tank steering. So both right wheels will go forward and the left wheels will go backwards, and it'll pivot and pirouette like a ballerina if you'd like.
I don't know what's cooler, the fact that you made a remote control lawnmower or the fact that you made it fun to mow the lawn.
Seems like Gary could make anything out of anything if you gave him enough time. But I want to see how he works under the pressure of a deadline, starting with what he's already got in his garage.
I've got a couple of lawnmowers. Lawnmower engines, yeah.
What would you build?
Well, I don't know.
You said earlier that there's plans rattling around in there.
Oh yeah, I've got a long list of bucket list items. Hovercraft being one of them.
Hovercraft?
Yeah, the idea is that it floats on a cushion of air.
Hovercraft, cool. But out of lawnmowers? Are they enough horsepower?
I think they'd get us flying.
Oh, we're gonna ride these.
Yeah. What's the purpose if you're not gonna ride it?
Well, I don't know. It's perfect. A hovercraft combines all the craziest aspects of Gary's projects. The robo-mower, the dirt yacht, the amphibious car, and of course, the hydrofoil. A hydrofoil flies on wings in the water, but a hovercraft actually floats on the air. But is a lawnmower engine powerful enough to lift a grown man on a hovercraft? 6.5 horsepower.
Yep.
And these are going to be enough to lift us individually and project us forward as well.
I think that'd be straining a little bit to do that, but 6 horsepower is a lot of power. Careful.
Okay, this is dangerous.
When's the last tetanus shot?
Oh, about 15 minutes ago. We're going to take this lawnmower. We're going to sit out here.
I'd probably use a styrofoam base.
Oh, this is good thinking.
I was thinking maybe we were going to reinforce it somewhere, maybe some lightweight plywood or something, just to keep it light. The vehicle's going to need some kind of a skirt, and what the skirt does is it inflates, captures the air, and then forces it around the skirt. And
that's enough to lift it. So, here's the plan. We're going to turn 2 lawnmowers into 2 hovercraft. Each hovercraft will have a foam platform and a vinyl skirt. The lawnmower engines will move air through a duct. The duct is going to be crucial because it funnels the air down for lift and back for thrust.
All the air is going to come in from the top. The duct is just, think of it like a big open circle. You look in there and you're going to be able to see the fan blade spinning around.
It's going to be our support system for the motor. It's going to be the intake for the air.
This is the most complicated parts of the build.
So if we can get this baby constructed,
yep,
we can sort of build the rest of the boat around it.
Yep.
But Gary doesn't do anything without the approval of his design team. We're doing big science in the middle of your driveway. What do you think?
Awesome.
Do you think it's going to work?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what it is?
Hovercraft?
How does she know that?
She's one of my disciples.
So we're gonna have 2 of these. What do you think? You guys you're gonna ride them?
I know I am. Maybe
I'm
she'll
going
check it out.
What's the right color for a hovercraft?
Pink.
The bright green.
Bright green?
Yes.
Pink.
Pink and green.
I think it's raining. That's what I think.
You got this memorized?
Yeah, committed to memory. Good, because our plan's getting all washed away.
All right.
While our plans wash away, we head to the hardware store to get the materials we'll need for our hovercraft.
Too flimsy. We got to get into the slightly heavier stuff.
We've got this compared to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it might weigh a pound more. It's pretty pink.
My daughter likes pink.
I know. We're gonna go pink anyway, so I think we should stick with this stuff. Do you?
I think it'll work for us.
Great, let's get a couple sheets.
Right.
The foam we're getting is basically used like this. Insulation. Hovercraft, who knows?
So we move on to step 1. Planning the duct that holds the engine and the propeller.
If we made a ring 24 inches in diameter and then we cut another one out at 28-inch diameter, then we'll have an outside form and an inside form, and we can fill it.
So basically, we're making a mold, and we have to fill it with something strong and light and moldable.
We can use that expandable foam stuff, squirt it in there, and it'll fill, and it'll actually make the duct for us.
We're gonna make an expandable foam donut. The inner wall of the donut is our first layer of protection between the driver and the spinning blades.
Because in case that blade flies apart, I'd like something more than foam to try and stop it.
Good plan. All right, that didn't work. So, along with the aluminum, we'll line the inner wall with fiberglass. So, we're making hovercraft ducts out of foam that's meant to seal window cracks. Yes, that is Gary Sloat.
Now, you've shot this foam before.
Oh yeah. It's really messy. That's good. Things are
I've
getting
been
weird.
looking forward to this part. I really have.
Here we go.
Whoa. Oh, that's cool.
This is not what this foam was made for at all, but we'll see.
That's like magic in a can.
Magic in a can? Magic in a can, otherwise known as foam insulation.
So, while we're waiting for the foam to dry, Gary designs the propellers. He won't buy anything he thinks he can make himself.
Well, somebody made it the first time, and I'm thinking that I can make it again. This is a high-speed part.
These are going to spin at 3,000 RPM, so
Right.
yeah, we don't want them
We
to fall
definitely want
apart.
them holding together, and can't overbuild these probably.
Right. We could have bought one of these.
It's very interesting to work with somebody who's always using the wrong material for the right thing. But after an entire day, the foam is still not drying, and Gary is getting nervous.
I mean, I think that this will dry up eventually, and we will carve it off eventually. Harden up, baby. All right, let's go build something.
Yep. We'll build the platforms that we'll ride on out of sheet foam and plywood.
We're on a roll. We're building stuff. Finally.
Sticking the plywood to the deck, we'll want to make sure we get a nice coating on that so that we get good adhesion, then we'll want to press that.
It's not hard work, it's not heavy work, it's just a lot of work.
All right, ready to go?
Yep. Let's throw a sheet on here.
All right.
This foam and glue sandwich is going to need some weight to make it stick together.
Meredith, I need you. Walk around. Want to make sure we got good adhesion everywhere.
Okay. Think heavy thoughts.
So, the platforms are ready. We're still waiting on the ducts to dry.
All right. How are the cakes doing here?
That's looking promising, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit soft, but I think if I start to
Yep.
saw this off, maybe we'll get some more air down into the
Sure.
inside of it. Oh. Oh, that is so not good. Gary,
Yes, sir.
we have a bit of a problem.
This hydrofoil is completely homemade by Gary Sloat. He's a computer guy for the local school, but he's a mad scientist on the weekends. Gary and I are trying to turn a couple of lawnmower engines into hovercraft. Tomorrow we're going to test these things in front of all his friends and family, but we've hit a major roadblock.
Oh, crap.
Don't like to hear that. What's going on?
All of that is supposed to look like that. And it looks like that. Instead of expanding, it's shrinking and turning into nothing. This is not going to work. Note to self, next time you use insulation, use it for insulating.
Waiting for this foam to dry has put us way behind schedule. All of Gary's friends and family are coming out tomorrow to see if this thing can fly. We may not have enough time left to build one, let alone two hovercraft.
So what can we salvage out of this?
Well, I mean, we have the aluminum, we have the fiberglass on the inside. That's already all set,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I mean, that's our protection.
Yeah.
So we'll fill it up with foam.
I'm with you.
Okay?
I agree.
We'll fill it up with foam. We'll flip it over. We don't have to wait for anything else to dry. When that stuff goops out, I'll just smear it all over your driveway. How's that?
You'll talk with my wife.
Okay, great. Let's kick them out.
All right.
It'll be a long night. Lots of coffee.
I'm stuck.
I am stuck. Gah! Hate this stuff.
We slice up the extra foam into strips and jam it into the form. It ain't pretty, but it works.
I think you pulled a success out of a disaster. I think you did a great job at this.
The foam was supposed to be the easy part. Right now, we have absolutely nothing assembled. We don't know if this design will work, and we have no time to test it.
Big day, reveal day. We have 5 hours until everybody Gary knows shows up and we test our hovercraft. Good morning, Mr. Sloat. What are you
Good
building?
morning, John. Tandem hovercraft.
Tandem hovercraft. Yeah, neat. We need something to mount the propeller to the motor.
If we use this, we have to weld the hub in, of course. I think we can accomplish that. And I would want to sink 4 bolts through to hold the blades.
This is just a pulley.
This is all part of the fun, using stuff that we're not really supposed to use to build things we're not really supposed to build. Really.
It's just a pulley, but what I'm really interested in is a washer, a big plate to stabilize the prop.
When it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's not so great. But then you have to think a little more, get a step ahead, use something else, and make it work. Right?
Cautious guys don't build hovercraft, I got it.
All right, next, attach the balloon skirt.
I did get the skirt sewed up.
Very nice. The balloon skirt is what traps the air under the platform. Gary's making that out of vinyl. This is the bottom of our craft. The idea is, on the other side of this hole is the fan. This space is where our balloon's gonna attach, out here and down to there. We have a hole here, and this is what's gonna fill up the balloon. All right, Gary, we have 2.5 hours.
Okay.
2.5 hours before we have to load up. What do you think if you pull start the motor? We'll set it outside and see if it spins around or explodes.
Yeah, definitely want safety glasses on and both hands.
Safety glasses, fire suit, helmet, fire patrol, bomb squad, yeah. We need to see if these motors in these ducts with these blades, basically everything we've built, will kick out enough air to lift a grown man on a hovercraft. Hopefully the propeller does not fly apart. Hopefully the motor does not fly off. And hopefully we get some air coming out of the back.
I got a good feeling about this.
All right, I'll hold this and you pull. And run. That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of air coming out of there.
Don't leave me hanging, brother.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right, one little piece down.
Yep.
A lot of other pieces to go. This thing about blew my socks off. I think we might float.
Okay, so the motors work, but on what? We still have a ton of things to put together and not much time. And because we're making two, we have to do everything twice.
There's a bunch of people, they're waiting in a marsh. So we're gonna do no more experimenting with these. Our test is going to be in the marsh.
Oh, you like me now.
We didn't build one nutty thing, we built two nutty things. We have no idea if they're gonna work. We've never tested them, we've never tried them because we got them built like 2 minutes ago. They're made out of nothing that should be in a hovercraft. I mean, this is foam insulation. It's a little bitty skinny piece of plywood. We have two lawnmower motors, all of this stuff underneath, which Gary cut and sewed. So the whole idea is, he built something that's gonna fly. And I'll tell you what, if one of these things flies across the water, I'll paint it pink.
Hot dog.
For Meredith.
I'd like to know if these things work. Anybody want to see them work?
Okay, sir. Start your engine. It's up! It started! I didn't expect these lawnmowers to have enough lift. I mean, I really didn't. And just watching this little thing lift off the ground was awesome. Okay, it starts. It didn't blow up. It filled up the balloon, and it floats.
It's idling, waiting for a passenger.
And then we try to ride them. All right, we are totally stuck in the mud. We try to get more horsepower out of these engines, but nothing. That's full power. They inflate on the ground, and they fill up on the ground, and they float on the ground. They just don't float very much weight.
So I'm thinking to myself, what are we gonna do? All of his friends are here. We can't ride these things at all. But Gary's a mad scientist.
I think I can get out in the water and get back.
Okay, all right. What do you think?
I'm going to take this out on the water.
Bye. Bye.
Just say, see you later. See you later.
Yeah. Hopefully.
All right, let's fire her up, see what she does. Oh, hey! Is Gary really nuts enough to take this thing out on the water?
Turns out he is. No matter what he did, he just couldn't get that thing to ride on top of the water. But you can't say he didn't try. And try. And try.
It started to sink. I just figured he was going to bail out and swim back in like any sensible person. That is seriously mad science. Not our Gary. He's out there riding it like some kind of crazy skateboard bronco thing.
Technically, Gary did get out on the water and back, with extra points for style. But let's face it, the lawnmower engines didn't have enough power to lift a grown man.
That was a heck of a ride. Yeah, he rode it, but not exactly in the manner I expected.
I'd still like to try it on pavement. I think there's a chance there. And I'd like to try it with maybe someone a little lighter than me. How would you like to be a land-based pilot of an awesome hover machine?
Gary's all for it, Mickey's all for it. Mom's not so into the idea.
Think positive. Positive.
She's a little tentative at first. There it is. She's flying. We had the right design, we just had the wrong rider.
So let the kids have some fun.
So we didn't make a lawnmower hovercraft for a grown man, but we did make the coolest kid's toy in Iowa.
Way to go! Yeah!
Was it fun?
Yeah. I couldn't see you. This is amazing.
Congratulations, my friend. You've built the goofiest flying machine I've ever seen.
Had a lot of fun. It was great.
And I think I have to paint it pink.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. More pink? All right.
Never too much pink.
How much pink?
That's awesome, John. Thank you.
Sometimes things are just better than pink.